Welcome to another episode of Success Today. I'm your host, Jack Canfield. And my next guest is Annette Dowdle. She's an expert in leadership and culture. And we'll be talking about that. She's got a book coming out. She has a wonderful podcast. We'll explore that as well. So welcome to the show, Annette.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
What would you like the world to know about who you are and what you do and your background a little bit, and then we'll go into the topic for the day here.
What I have been doing for the last 25 years has been working with companies, helping them with their employee benefits. And it started off originally to help them find cost containment strategies. And then we realized it needed to be a little bit more. It became more employee-centric, where it was finding benefits that not only attracted good talent, but kept them engaged. So it made a more productive workforce. That's what I've been doing over the last 25 years and has gotten me to this place where I am today, where I've started to explore sharing those stories about what works, what I've seen in my past works and what doesn't work.
So what was that moment when you went, okay, I've been doing this, but I kind of want to do that? Was there an epiphany, a pivotal moment that occurred that said, okay, this is what I want to do now?
It was kind of like a lot of little things that led me there. So it wasn't one single event. It was just as I started exploring successful people and organizations, I saw a trend, and it really came back to being more holistic and centered around people and keeping people above everything as opposed to not just looking at the bottom line.
The name of this show is called Success Today, and success to people means a lot of different things. How would you define success for you? What does that word mean for you?
Well, it's not really financial goals. It's not those little personal goals as much as it is about leaving a legacy, like making a positive impact, making a difference. As I've gotten older through the years, that means more to me than the little personal wins. I just want to be remembered, but I also want to make an impact.
And when you look at your clients that you work with, how do you define success for them?
It's usually always cost containment, finding cost containment, because when they can do that, they can also provide better salaries for their employees. They can have more programming. But I think it's finding that perfect balance. It's that art of like cost containment, finding the right benefits, helping that employee where they are in their journey of their job, in their spectrum of life. 26-year-old who just starts is going to need something different than a 50-year-old who's empty nester and maybe taking care of their parents. I feel like helping the clients is with finding that balance for their employees and their business is going to have a much more productive workforce, and they're going to be a lot more successful as a company.
Okay, so let's say I'm a company and I hire you, and you come in, and what do we do together? How do you help me do that?
We look at what you have in place now, and that could be your current benefits. I do have like a compliance team. We do like a new client onboarding. So we look at what you have and where your gaps are and evaluate where you need to change it. But we can also take the demographics of your population and see where your employees are falling in line. What point in the stage of their career are they? And you can tell that by demographics. And so then we kind of personalize whatever suits your population and helps you attract that new talent.
So when you talk about leadership and culture, then you're going in and working with the leaders, you're helping change the culture. Is this a little different than just the employment benefits? Is this something new, or is it interactive with what you're currently doing?
I have a team that comes in to help them establish some culture aspects as far as team bonding. Do you have the 5 traits of what you stand for as an organization? What is that? Is it teamwork? Is it service? Is it entrepreneurship? When you get ready to hire someone, do they share the same values that you share? And so it makes it easier for you to recruit the right people when you know what you stand for and they understand what you stand for and they're both aligned.
When you and your employees know what those values are, then they can start making decisions that are in alignment with those values so that they often don't even need so much management because they know what they're expected to be, not just do. Do you have a success story, like some company you worked with and like you just walked away and you're going like, wow, that we really made a difference there? I'm just curious.
Yes, there's several, but there's one in particular where the leadership felt like they knew what their population needed, and they ruled from the White Tower, so to speak. We did some surveys and told them about their employees and where the things that they really wanted and needed. Their turnover had reduced like 50%.
Wow.
And so instead of having 20% turnover, they went down to 10%. And some of it's just natural.
And that's a big deal because then you don't have all those new training costs and people learning.
Oh yeah, it costs money for a company every time you train someone new.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't work out. So
Yeah.
you need to find that out before they become a new hire.
Yeah.
And so the importance of that interview and that recruitment process is really critical to make sure they're aligned with what your mission statement is. It just comes back to that. It's starting at the very beginning with recruitment. I am passionate about giving back. I am passionate about educating, and I'm doing that through the book that I'm writing with a colleague and for the podcast that I'm doing with Elevate with Annette. I hope that it makes a difference in organizations. I mean, that would be fulfilling to hear that back. So maybe just spreading the word that there is somebody out there who cares about businesses, not just from getting more customers, but making an impact.
All right, new book coming out, got this podcast.
Yeah.
I love it. So if people want to find out about you, your services, where do they go?
Well, I'm very active on LinkedIn. I also have a website. It's Elevate with Annette, all one word.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for what you're doing in the world. I think it's really important. You probably have no idea, or maybe you do, on a day-to-day level, all the people that are benefiting out on the floor and in the trenches because of what you do. So keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you, Jack.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.